This is Raw Take, a lifeline to your unfiltered media experience.
Donald Trump decides to reopen schools during a pandemic and cut funding to schools that don't open up to full capacity. So, guys, let's check out this clip real quick.
So we're very much going to put pressure on governors and everybody else to open the schools, to get them open. And it's very important. It's very important for our country. It's very important for the well-being of the student and the parents. So we're going to be putting a lot of pressure on open your schools in the fall.
So, guys, you see our idiot in chief? I mean, this guy is supposed to protect everyone. He's supposed to protect the children. And you have a pandemic that has over 130,000 deaths. And you're trying to open it up. You're trying to open everything back up. And the thing is, the disease is mutating. So kids are dying from it now. I think that's a thing that we're also overlooking. Kids are dying. There was a story of an infant, a 6-month-old infant who died from COVID. And you're talking about opening up schools. And so the kids are going to be around each other. They're going to try and do social distancing as best as they can. And who's to say if that's going to even really work? And then they're going to be asymptomatic, and then they're going to get their parents sick.
Exactly. Probably some of the teachers too. See, Trump is looking at the numbers in Germany and other countries, and our numbers are not looking like theirs. Our numbers right now, we're at the top of number of cases, and although the deaths may have declined a bit, but there are still deaths. It didn't decline to zero, and Trump only looks at things like partially. He don't look at the big picture. I don't think he could even see the big picture. And I don't understand why he think that defunding the schools, a third to defund the school would be the solution and to getting people to getting the schools to open back up despite the pandemic anyway. Because I was thinking about the whole he threatened to defund the school system for not reopening if they don't reopen. But when we called for him to defund the police, what did he do?
He said no.
He said no. So he's more willing to defund the schools than the police. So that says a lot about our president. And also right now, they're talking about laying off like 1 million teachers. So if they reopen the schools and they lay off 1 million teachers, that means that students are going to be piled on top of students, and it's not going to be safe. And before we go on, Gian, I want to play a little clip of one of the teachers and see what she had to say about the whole thing.
Here's what my advice to all parents, including you, is please, under no circumstances, take medical advice from Donald Trump or Betsy DeVos, especially when it comes to the health of your children. I had 39 sixth graders one year in my tiny little classroom with one window. That was not healthy before the pandemic. And what I hear the President of the United States saying is just open the doors, crowd those kids back in there. My classroom was a germ factory. I knew that I was going to catch someone's cold every year. This is different. This is a virus that kills people. And Donald Trump and Betsy DeVos are making a mockery of the danger that they would be in if you rush to this, if you do it wrong.
So, seeing that there is a spike in the COVID cases in the United States on a day-to-day basis. However, kids may not be dying from it often right now, but they still carry the disease, which will have a tremendous effect on spreading. Trump is not thinking about that. It's not a good thing to push to reopen the schools with no safety guidelines put in place for it. Trump is more talking about threatening to, bullying the governors to reopen the schools, but he's not talking about how to do it in a safe manner, like the teacher was saying. He should be talking about how okay, we can reopen the schools, but how can we do this in a safe manner? He should be talking about supplies that he's going to give to the schools. He should be talking about the guidelines that they'll need to practice to reopen the schools, but do it safely. Everybody wants their kids back in school. Come on,
Exactly.
but nobody wants their kids back in school at the expense of contracting COVID and bringing it home. Come on,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's what he's not thinking about, man.
That's why this is incompetence and negligence at the highest level. It really is. And I've looked at some studies. The average age of teachers is around 40. The new spike in cases is between the age of 20 and 40. So you're putting these people at risk. And you talked about Europe opening up. You know why Europe was able to open up? Because they followed the safety guidelines. They social distanced, they wore the mask, and now they're reopening because they killed the curve. Their curve was our curves were at the same, but they lowered theirs because they did the proper things. We politicized. Donald Trump and the Republicans politicized this to the max, saying Donald Trump first started saying that it was a Democrat hoax. I mean, you started off on the wrong foot. You didn't even think that this thing was real, and now there's been reports of saying that you said it out in the open that it's just going to go away. It's not going away. It's getting worse. And the people are saying that this is our second wave. No, this is still part of the first wave. We didn't social distance, right? So it's going to still get worse. It's going to keep coming back. We're going to still have people dying. I mean, every day we have record new number of new cases. We're America. It's like, oh yeah, we're America. We're number one. We're number one in COVID cases. Woo! Who wants to be number one in COVID cases?
Exactly, man. We're all number one in something now. Looking at how negligent Trump is about the whole thing and how he's willing to bully his way into forcing schools to reopen without any show of care or concern towards the kids' safety and the teacher's safety as well as the parents.
Yeah.
It's almost like he feels like maybe there wasn't enough people who died from coronavirus, so this is a way to help spread it some more. So maybe they could reach their quota and now the number of deaths that they needed to reach. I'm just taking a stab out there,
Right.
I guess and as people start back dying or whatever, I guess Trump's just gonna put out the fire like he forestated in another response to a question he was asked about the second wave. So Trump, like I said before, he's not talking about how to do this safely. He is stupidly ignoring the danger of the pandemic, just as he did before in the beginning. He ignored the danger of it. Even tried to say that it wasn't even true, when that's what he said publicly, because he knew that it was true. For whatever reason, he decided not to act quickly on it. Yeah. We don't know, but like I was just saying, I think it's because it was meant to happen. It was planned. Because my take on the coronavirus is that it isn't just like come from like, oh, here now there's this pandemic. No, it was, I believe, because it's man-made, I believe that it was released purposely into the world. Yeah. And it got out of control, but then at the same time, it didn't achieve or accomplish everything they planned for it to accomplish when they released it. So...
And you know what? There's a lot of reports saying how the virus is man-made and how it mutates. The way it mutates so fast. They're saying that in nature, nothing like this can mutate that fast. And how there's different strands of the virus. I mean, and this is how slow the American media is. They came out I think it was last week, they said COVID is airborne. I saw reports of that back in February that COVID was airborne. So when they're now talking about, oh, it's airborne, I'm like, duh. It survived on surfaces for more than 17 days. What do you mean? It's just crazy how these people how slow information is to get out here in America, and how we treat the information we get, and how we don't even think to process it or use it correctly. It's just one thing I really want to see is I want to see how many Republicans are going to put their kids at risk. I mean, I've seen the Republicans go to the rallies and put themselves at risk, but are you going to put your legacy at risk? Are you going to risk their lives?
Looks like we lost Rush. But yeah, that's the whole thing, man. We need to we need more teachers to speak up, and like the teacher that we showed you guys in the clip, we need more teachers to speak up, because the thing is, man, this thing is real. This thing is consuming the United States. It's consuming our people, and Donald Trump doesn't care, because he just sees us as like fires that he can put out. And he doesn't see the value in the American lives like he should see it. In all American lives, should I say. So that therefore it's up to us to speak out. It's up to us to voice, to make our voices be heard. And we don't. I wouldn't even want my kid to be carrying the disease. To carry the disease, whether it's dormant or not. I wouldn't want them to carry it, because the thing is, even as a carrier, I've heard that the disease it attacks your organs and everything. So even once you get it, it's like it basically never goes away. It just kind of goes to the back burner for a while. But like my sister has it, and and she was already high risk, and now she has it, and any of us could get it.
Yeah.
You don't know that now. When schools open up, that kid that you want to be friendly with or whatever, you think it's all good because it's a kid, just might have coronavirus.
Exactly.
And that's who you can blame that on. You can blame that on our president.
Yeah. Because he's just putting people at risk. It's just so negligent.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people still have faith or confidence in him when he's putting your legacy, he's putting your kids at risk. He's saying, I will force you to go to school. If not, I will defund. I will cut funding. That's mafia tactics. That's such a dictatorship move. That's such a fascist move. For him to just be like, I'm gonna force you. I'm gonna cut funding. Our funding to schools are already cut so horrible. So you're gonna cut funding even more? And
he emphasized on it too.
Exactly. That's sick. What Republican he's putting your children at risk? You are going to support him. What fool would do that? Because honestly, you're a fool if you support him now. You are an idiot. You're dumb. You're lacking brain cells. I don't mean to be so harsh, but this is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
This man is putting kids at risk.
He's putting the entire American people at risk by putting the kids at risk, because, like I said, it's going to spread.
Exactly.
Plus you got kids on top of kids in the classrooms. Yeah, it's going to spread. I mean, we need to see our president for what and who he really is, and stop holding him up. And if you're going to support him, do your thing. But please open your eyes to see the big picture. The big picture is Trump does not care about the American people. Trump only cares about Trump and looking good and being the law and order president that he says he is.
Yeah.
I mean, the law and order dictator that he says he is. Can I change that?
Because that's what he is, man. I just, it's so sad to see the state our country is in. I have nieces and nephews, and I'm like, Are they going to be forced to go to school? I mean, they could get sick. That hurts me, man. That scares me. I don't want my nieces and nephews to get sick, or I don't want them to get somebody else sick because they're asymptomatic. I'm just like, this is a rare moment in history. You know, we have these pandemics every 100 years. We have to move. We have to move smart. We have to see what was done in the past. We have to see what other countries are doing, and we have to implement that. We have to move. We have to be way smarter than what we are, and you can't put people like that at risk.
You know, the land of the free and all of that, but right now we are not free of coronavirus.
Exactly.
So until we are free of coronavirus, we are not the land of the free.
Exactly.
And you know, people living up to that land of the free and you know our rights and all of that. Right now, people's rights are getting them killed, getting them sick. So I mean, what more does it take for people to realize that they need to follow the guidelines that's put in place? They need to stop being so consumed with this so-called freedom. They need to realize that this thing is real, so we got to act like it's real and address it, not just act like it's going away, like Trump said. And then yeah, there's a spike in cases, but guess what? If you stop testing, then there won't be a spike in the cases. Stupid, the spike's still going to be there. You're just not going to know about it.
You're just not gonna know about it, and it's just gonna go unseen and just keep on growing.
Yeah, and that's even worse. At least if you're doing testing, people can find out if they have it. It just looks like Trump just wants some more people to just to bite the dust. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job at setting that up to happen.
Yeah, he really is. It's just that level of incompetence. As you can see, our death numbers are at 130,000. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I seen or heard someone say it was like 60,000 cases in one day.
Yeah, or 70,000, or it was some insane number. That's an insane number.
Yeah, they said 60,000 like in one day. I don't think no one had a number that higher in nowhere else.
Nowhere. We're breaking records over here in America, D. We're number one.
Because we're the land of the free. It's the land of the free, baby. We free to catch coronavirus if we want to.
Right? We're free to die. We're free to die.
I want to catch it. You can't stop me.
That's so dumb, man. That's so dumb. Oh man. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to kill that like button and subscribe, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. Thank y'all for watching.